A Guten Erev Shabbos. This Shabbat is a very special Shabbos, a Shabbos of trepidation and at the same time a Shabbat of hope. It's a low point in the year and at the same time a vision, hopefully, of much better days to come. A time of the end of an era of leadership and at the same time the dawn of a new era. Shabbat Chazon, Shabbos Chazon, is the special name for the Shabbat just before Tisha B'Av, our national day of mourning and sadness. It takes its name from the vision of Isaiah, Chazon Yeshayahu, which is the Haftorah always read this week, prophesying the destruction of Jewish life in Israel and the subsequent exile and misery. Always looking for a silver lining in the suffering, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev elaborated on the name of Chazon, the vision, that every Jew experiences a vision of better times to come, better days ahead on this unique Shabbat. He said that for those tuned into it, we can experience a vision of rebuilding, restoration, redemption, even a third temple in Jerusalem. The reality, as we know well, is that not every Jew is as tuned in as they might be. Nevertheless, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak insisted that all of us experience a sense of hope and possibility this Shabbat at some level of our souls. The question, as always, is what do we do with that sense? This Shabbos is also a major transition in our annual Torah study and reading. From Simchas Torah up until now, we've read the first 4 books of the Torah, talking about what it is to be human, what it is to be a Jew, what it is to experience freedom, and how that freedom can go awry. We begin the 5th book, Deuteronomy, Devarim, this Shabbat. It's entirely the speech of one man, Moses, as he knows his era of leadership comes to an end and his successor will soon take over. There's no one else like Moshe, and yet he was not the one to take us home to the promised land, to Israel. That responsibility and privilege belonged to Joshua. In the life of our congregation, this is also a special and precious time. Right after Tisha B'Av this week, we begin our run-up to the high holidays. You'll see the complexion of the sanctuary change a little bit as we make accommodations for a larger crowd. We'll start to look forward to the usual Elul signs that the high holidays are approaching, not the least of which are the sounding of the shofar every day, a couple of weeks from now, and our annual Labor Day Monday barbecue. Mark your calendars. We'll also continue the process of membership renewals and Yom Kippur appeal pledges and donations that began this summer and now ramp up in earnest. And yet, things are at a higher level this year. K'na'ayin hara, we are now past the COVID era, or at least the pandemic part of it. All the disappointment and anxiety of lockdown, distancing, masking, testing, and all those tools that we used successfully for the most part, we should note, to keep ourselves and our community as safe and healthy as could possibly be to the best of our ability. They're now in the history books, hopefully. We hope that everyone feels safe returning to Shul for the high holidays this year, and in fact, nearly all of our members did so last year. So this year we hope and expect it will be all the more uplifting and inspiring and well-attended. We're also in our own period of leadership transition. After a good number of years as our board chair and president, Jeremy Murray has stepped back from that position, and we're grateful for his selfless and dedicated service over these very challenging years. Helen Lewis has stepped up to lead our board and our shul as president, and from her heartfelt and moving speech at our congregational meeting earlier this month, we know we are in good hands. So we have at this moment in our shul's history our own Shabbat Chazon, our vision of hope, rebuilding, restoration, and even redemption. We remember those who built this shul and filled it. Thankfully, many are still with us. We remember families and the extended KST family coming together for holidays social events, fundraisers, concerts, projects, fun, and community, and we look forward to more. We knew at the time how valuable those things were, and now we're even wiser. After extended lockdown, we know how valuable it is to come together in real life. After months of quarantine, we know how precious it is to come together at a kiddush and shmooze, to get together to go to a concert, or talk about a book or a movie, and to be in the presence of thoughtful friends to share insights and perspectives. We know how valuable real-life relationships are. As wonderful as Zoom has been for us, we're happy to be back in 3 dimensions. And as a new angle of technology sneaks its way into our lives, artificial intelligence, we see the premium value of trust, friendship, and relationship, things that artificial intelligence will never be able to replace. Someone last week mentioned the one thing that AI, artificial intelligence, will never be able to do is pray. Well, wouldn't you know it, that's one of our signature activities here. Yet another reason why real life, real time, real human communities like Kehillat Sharei Torah will continue to be even more valuable and precious and important in our lives in the future. Now for the vision part. The question to us on this Shabbat of vision, Shabbos Chazon, is what do we see for our future? What do we want? Some of us are looking for a comfortable home we can return to on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur when we feel we ought to be in shul. That is a wonderful thing, and we are so happy and will be so happy to see many of our friends on those days. Let's just remember one important fact. There are 3 days of the year when KST does not sponsor a Kiddush. Rosh Hashanah 2 days and Yom Kippur. I'm not saying that Kiddush is the best part of the day, but I think we can agree it is part of the enjoyment and part of the experience, the friendship, the relaxed atmosphere, and the food. So again, if you're looking for a delicious spiritual experience with our wonderful Chazanim and our scholar in residence, the high holidays are unparalleled. But the other days are good too. Services are shorter and the food is better. By the way, every year we get 1 or 2 phone calls asking if people could pay a reduced rate, just buy a ticket for the 2 days that they come. For many years we've decided that the answer to that is no. Membership in KST's community is available to all members equally 365 days a year. For someone who makes use of their membership, their share in our community, only 3 out of 365 days, it may not seem like a great deal. Although, now that we've done some research into other shul's policies and procedures, we can say with confidence that not only is KST membership among the least costly in Toronto, it is without a doubt the best bargain in town at any price. You would expect holiday, Shabbat, and daily services from your synagogue and digital access, which since COVID we now offer a regular menu of. You would expect access to high-quality learning and rabbinic guidance. We do our best. But you should also expect a wide menu of cultural, social, and other fun and enjoyable and enriching events all year round. In the past, we've done book talks at local bookstores when those existed, movie nights, outings to concerts and museum exhibits, gatherings in members' homes, speakers of interest about Israel, Jewish history, politics, and other current events, scotch tastings, wine tastings, movement and Zumba classes, choral concerts, among other things. What is your vision for a shul that's more than just services, a place that provides useful and engaging resources, workshops, culture, and an enjoyable and worthwhile and welcoming place to meet with family and friends? What did you enjoy in the past that you want to see again or see more of? What did you miss that you want us to bring back? What have you seen or heard of at other shows that you wish your shul offered? We're really only limited by our imaginations. If you want poetry writing or memoir writing workshops or a coffee house or live music or Hebrew language help or Israeli films or music or food or politics, or helping in the community with food banks or soup kitchens, winter clothing drives, or golf, or mahjong, or bridge, or toddler Shabbat programs, or more Friday night dinners, or Sunday brunch conversations. Whatever it is, let's hear your vision. You don't need to be a board member. You don't need to feel bad for any reason about how often you do or don't daven with us. We're all in this together. Each and every one of us knows someone who's disillusioned with or bored with their current synagogue membership somewhere else, or their lack of connection to a synagogue. Each of us could reach out to 1 or 2 or 5 friends and relatives and invite them to be part of our kehillah. Don't hit them with the full high holiday press first. Invite them to the barbecue on Labor Day Monday first. Come have a hot dog, sit and talk with us. Then maybe for a Shabbat morning with a kiddush. Then we can follow up from there. And more than that, let's work together to design a fun year of events, gatherings, groups, conversations, and community that will enrich and nourish our lives. This is where real life happens, where long-lasting friendships endure and grow. This is where life really is, in community, which is shared with others. On this Shabbat of vision, let's bring our visions together and make them a reality in the vibrant, lively, attractive place we all know and want our shul to be together. Shabbat Shalom.